Back to the best show in Atlanta. I'm your host, Nigel. Listen, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the best show in Atlanta. Also, if you can, go on the website at unspokenatlanta.com and get your merch, man. We got different colorways on the hoodies, crew necks, t-shirts, all type of stuff on there, man. So if you can support, man, go to unspokenatlanta.com, check out the Unspoken Atlanta collection, and get your merch today. Enjoy the show.
That same ICY is going to carry over, which it already has, in relationships with women, where you are going to be able to see why in most women you just don't want to be with her. It's going to be easy for you to first see the why.
You think that's a escape mechanism?
I think it's learned behavior. I think you've learned to see the why a man wouldn't stay with you first, then the qualities of why a man would stay with you. Because you learned that as a young man. You learned that now I understand why he didn't stay. And the more that I talk to although you love her to pieces, I can tell, you can still see why to this day. But if you don't unpack that part, then you will always be looking for the why somebody wouldn't stay first, which is going to enable you to sabotage the relationship.
Hey, Nigel. Did too hard, bruh.
Super honored, man. Shout out Nigel. Shout out everybody here. Shout out Unspoken. We in the A.
Shout out to my boy Jeter. That's what we drinking on, Jeter Readers. Make sure y'all get y'all some Jeter Reader, man. Hit my boy up. For real. Get the education going. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Unspoken Atlanta podcast. I'm your host, Nigel Armani, and today I'm with a very, very special guest, a person that I've been watching on social media for a while. I've seen her on several different shows. I've seen her live as well in tonight's conversation. And I also met her at InvestFest. So, yeah, Miss Cheyenne Bryant, how you doing?
What's going on, Nigel? Thank you for having me. I didn't know you seen me on tonight's conversation. That's cool.
I seen you once. This is maybe a month ago. I actually was visiting a friend. We was in what was it? I'm losing my train of thought. But anyway, that was my first time seeing you live.
Yeah.
Before then, I was seeing you, like I said earlier, on social media, seeing you on different platforms. And you're very good friends with one of my good friends, Trill AC.
Oh, what's up, Trill? That's my guy.
Yeah, he was one of the first person when I first started my show, maybe like I started Unspoken Atlanta 2019.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the first people to actually come on my platform and chop it up when he was doing the cruise season.
Yeah, Trill goes crazy.
Yeah,
like his advice, his ability to, just speak from the heart about relationships.
Yeah.
And then, he's speaking from a place of he is who he says he is.
Well,
he's married, he's a
been
father.
There, been there, done that.
Yeah, it's, same woman. Long-term marriage. She's absolutely amazing and beautiful. So just shout out to Trill. That's my bro.
Oh yeah, shout out to my guy.
Yeah, I love him to pieces. So
so how you doing? Check.
I'm doing amazing. Actually, very happy. I'm on tour with Tonight's Conversation and on my Dr. Bryant tour. And so we just hit Florida, 4 cities in 1 week. We are going to Texas, Dallas, and Houston. And we got 4 shows, double shows. The shows are so sold out that we're doing 2 shows a day.
That's how it was. So I actually I did Conversation 3 times. I did 2 last year.
Yeah.
Trill and OT came down here. They did an interview with us, and then we went to their show afterwards. And I was able to see them too, and then my third time was seeing you. But going there, I seen they had the shows back to back. It's probably like 15 to almost 20,000 people there.
Yeah, we just had 4,500 in Florida. A few of our shows. I mean, every seat, every chair sold out. So Ace don't play, when it comes to selling out those seats and working. He's one of the hardest working human beings I've met. I mean, I really admire his work. He's a big dog.
Yeah, hopefully I can be able to get him on the show next, man. We're gonna work on that, God willing, for sure.
Yeah.
So before you even started doing your tours and stuff, we could start all the way from the beginning. How did you start getting into not even just public speaking, just starting to become a doctor and everything before that, as far as school and everything?
Yeah, I always say I'm just a little girl from the hood, from the inner city, who just was extremely tenacious and determined to make it out, make my family proud. I'm the oldest of 7, the oldest grandchild, I'm the first. I'm a product of teenage parents. So I've seen a lot of things that I didn't want to be. And so I always say it's not where you're going that gets you to where you want to be, it's what you're running from. And for me, I was running from a lot of what I loved and I respected, but I didn't want for myself, right? And so I made a commitment to myself and to God that I would put my track shoes on, tie them up, and just hit it until I got to purpose, right? And at that time, not understanding that purpose isn't something outside of you, it's find yourself and there's your purpose. So on my journey to find my quote unquote purpose and running from what I didn't want to become, I ran into 6 degrees. I ran into a house at 19. I ran into a daycare. I ran into 2 retail stores on our biggest tourist street in attraction, Melrose, in Los Angeles, California. You know, I ran into a private practice, being a doctor, the president of the biggest civil rights organization in the world, NAACP. And then I always tell people, you know, today they may look down and see heels because I rock my heels, but my track shoes are still on, and I don't have no intent on ever taking them off. Right, so I'm gonna run until I can't run no more until God's will is done and His plans are done with me. So that's where it started, and it allowed me to be a vessel and provide tools for other people who look like me, and those who don't. I don't talk to people; I talk to pain. Okay. And we may be different races, different genders, but we all can understand pain and trauma and tribulation. Right. And so when I talk to that, it provides a connection and a fusing. And allows people to be able to thrive and get out of their broken pieces and make peace from that.
6 degrees though. What? So I got 1 degree, but you got 6. So what? I want to go back to that part. How hard was it to go through with that process of doing 6, going to school that long? And what was your motivation behind continuing to go?
Absolutely. So I started college at 17. So my freshman year of high school, I took summer school college courses. And so by the time I got to college as a freshman, I was already halfway through and almost a sophomore. Then when I got to college, Cal State Northridge, I took 26 units a semester. So I wanted to get out, completely out. And then from there, this was interesting. Undergrad and master's was not challenging for me, right? Because I became a professional career student. I love school. I love reading. I love academics. And then when I got my doctorate program, that was a flow as well. It wasn't until I started to build out my private practice and started to become a marriage, family, child therapist that it became challenging. And it was only because I told God purposely, don't put me in the inner city with kids who experience similar, adversity as me. And it wasn't because I didn't want to deal with that population. It was I wanted to make sure that I was good enough, I was ready enough, I was educated enough, I was trained enough, and I wasn't going to cause more impairment on them than they already had, right? I was a broken girl. And I was trying to figure out how can I make sure that my brokenness doesn't bleed onto them. And that's exactly where God put me. In the hood with court order DCFS families doing reunification. And I just remember walking to the office and being like, oh my God, like, I hope that I can deliver and I can really change these lives. And then as I started to have caseload after caseload and kid after kid and family after family, I realized that like I was not just, good for it. I was the person for it. Yeah. And the healing, Nigel, was amazing because I would say no one person heals alone. And so as I began to create breakthroughs in healing for families, there was so much healing that took place in me as well. So something that I didn't want, it was everything that I needed for my healing journey. And even when I left that and went to private practice, there was just a big chunk of me, right? That was like, dang, I don't get to contribute back to the folks that are me. They come from the inner city like me. But I take it with me and I'm grateful for it.
What's your thought process when you're like in the office counseling somebody versus like what you're doing now as far as like, public speaking and traveling and stuff like that?
When I'm in my private practice, I'm like, these people are, where's my camera at? This is what, I'm like, these people are crazy. I'm just like, no, I don't. You know what? I see myself in each one of my clients. It's like everything that they're either going through, I've gone through, or I'm experiencing too. And so it becomes a really beautiful, honoring, respectful relationship that we build. And I always tell my clients, I told my client earlier today in session that, when I am coaching them, I'm in the pain with them, right? I'm one of those doctors where like, we in this together. I'm feeling what you're experiencing. I'm not just holding your hand through it. There's compassion, but there's also a very tough love. There's a appropriately confrontation piece that I do. That's like, yo, you're out of alignment. How do we get you back in alignment? I use a lot of God, a lot of scripture in my sessions that my clients seem to really love. And so that's a very intimate one-on-one space where I get the opportunity to have an intimate connection infusing and be in someone's trauma and in their pain. Right. And I get to see them. And for a lot of people, Nigel, you'll be surprised at how me seeing them is the first time they've ever been. And these are folks who are married. These are folks who are grown adults like us, not just kids. People who just never had their pain be seen, never had their pain be facilitated for, never had someone hold space for them to just cry or just shed or just externalize, right? I had a young man come in my office about a month ago, and he came in and we're talking. He's a pretty big A-list celebrity, and we're chopping it up. And about 10 minutes into it, he just laid his head on my desk, and he just bawled his eyes out for like 20 minutes. And he just was like, "Man, doc, I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, you're good." And in that space, I just stayed quiet and held space for him, and I prayed over him while he's crying, right? Because he needed that release. And then we were able to unpack and process through what that pain was, what those tears represent. Let's identify the emotions that you felt, and let's do something with him. So it's a very intimate space that I love because I love intimacy, and I'm a fuser and I'm a connector. Yeah. Now, me being on stage with my own Dr. Bryant, speaking tour or tonight's conversation, or when I'm doing my keynote speaking or doing at the corporate level, or even when I train our Los Angeles Police Department on cultural competence and biases, that's a different experience. It's still intimate because I bring the intimacy, but it is more of me providing a more broad perspective on tools, right? On trauma, more psychoeducating. And, I'm more of I think shooting from the hip when I'm on stage. And I do find that I'm more gentle when I'm in my one-on-one sessions. Yeah. I'm more gentle. Yeah, I'm more, when people see my videos, I'm more like, damn. And I am damn. I am that big, or I'm that big dog. I'm shooting from the hip. But in session, one-on-one, I am very gentle. I'm very loving. But I'm also very like, we got to make sure that this shit is in alignment because I want to get you where you go. And I'll land on this. I always tell my clients, I say, look, I'm just here to love you, have you back, and get you to where you want. And just even me saying that, you could see their face go from like this kind of fear factor of like, dang, I don't know where to start, right? I don't know how to process. I don't know where I'm going. But to hear someone just say, I have your back and I love you and I just want to get you to where you want to go, not project onto you what I want for you, is also liberating for people to know that I'm a whole space for who you are and what you want, right? And there's no dogma here, no pressure.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Shit, hey, all right, bye. Bye. I gotta make another one tonight. Hell yeah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
Another characteristic about you is this probably wouldn't be a characteristic everybody noticed, but I love how nervous I make you.
And the fact that you know that is crazy though.
I love that.
This damn dating social media world, dating app world, they're trying to make that reality like that. Shout out to the Balloon Pop Show, it's a cool show. But the concept of it shows you that they're trying to take online dating and make that reality. Popping a balloon is no different than swiping.
Important too. Like you're completely detached from the situation. You want them to move on.
Hey man, welcome to the best show in Atlanta.
As going back to like the one-on-one sessions, like when you're starting the sessions, like what how are you going about it? Like, are you they just coming in just telling them all their problems, excuse me, or is just like you? I don't know. I'm asking.
So like how I started is I say, we can't heal a lie, we only hear the truth. And there's no judgment. I always say there's nothing you can say that I either haven't heard or haven't done in my 43 years of living. I too, like, you've been broken, and so don't think you have to do it perfect. Whatever you feel, whether it's a noise or a word, or don't think you have to sound perfect. Let me do my job. You speak, you unload. And let me take your pieces and put them where they need to be and help you unpack, right? And when I say that, again, that takes pressure off people from not having to come in and know how to do their work, especially men. Men are so, the world and even relationships demand of you all to be so performative, so transactional. And so when men get in a space, especially with the women, where they're like, yo, I don't have to know it all. I don't have to solve everything. I don't have to be performative. Like, I can just be a man. I can just be broken. I could just be hurt. Like, I could just be seen. There's no judgment. That is huge for men in my space. And so I try to create the safest space possible, but also allowing people to have the freedom of being who they are. I got people who come in and they use the N-word. I got people who are cursing in session, right? It's not my rules. It's a space that I hold for you to curate for what's best needed for your healing. And that's what makes how I do it and my approach unique and very effective.
I think what makes it hard for men though is that what you just described. I think they try to look for that in their relationship, and I don't think they're able to. On that. When you're saying how they're like willing to just talk regular, how they, I'm saying, like stuff like how you're trying to present yourself, how you say you're gentle, the things that you do to try to make them feel comfortable. I think that guys, majority of the time, are trying to find that through their significant other. And I think that why they come to you is because they're not getting it from them. I mean, you can tell me better than I. I'm going off of just, watching other people and hearing how hard it is for guys to go to therapy. I know that a lot of people are afraid to do that because they don't they don't like talking to who they don't know. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think that for the most part, I feel like people who are not able to have that at home, it makes it hard for them to be able to do that.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And to add to what you're saying, men, and let me go further because, I stand on a mountaintop for my Black community, for my Black men. So men in particular, especially Black men, y'all really don't have a lot of safe spaces. You find your safe space with your male community, and
that's about it.
That's about it. There you go. That's about it, right? And so, to your point, you're so right that you are looking for that type of space in your relationship, but also that space isn't always held from your woman. And I'm gonna go deeper, and this may be an unapologetic opinion, and y'all know I don't care.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, a lot of Black women need to learn how to hold that space for you.
Okay.
There's a group of men, Black men, who just don't like women. They have an issue with Black women subconsciously, and it lays dormant. They don't know it. But whenever a Black man doesn't have his father in the home, he is an abandoned little boy. And every time he looks in the mirror at himself, he sees what he identifies his father with. If he sees his father as a dude who was a loser for leaving him, that's what he sees himself as. If he sees his father as, some suck-ass dude, right, because he wasn't here, that's what that man sees himself as. And then because the father's not in the home for him to blame, who does he blame?
Himself.
And his mom. So when you say self, shame comes in. So now that little boy feels like, well, was I not good enough for dad to stay? Right? What did I do? And if it wasn't me, what did she do? And that's mine. Because nobody was good enough to keep him here. So now I don't see value in who? A Black woman, because that's my mother. And I don't see value in myself. So now I go into a world that deems Black men as not valuable. So now I'm a Black man trying to navigate through this world that doesn't see me valuable. I'm trying to navigate through my pain and my trauma of my abandonment and my parental issues, right? And I don't trust anybody because the people I was supposed to trust, dropped me.
Right.
They dropped me. And so now when I go and date a woman who I identify as something that's similar to my mother, especially she's a Black woman, I already have this thing against her because I haven't processed and healed the pain that I have towards my mother. And so now she gets to smoke. And then as a Black woman who has daddy issues, she comes in with a shotgun pointed at a Black dude. That's you, who she's making love to, but it's really supposed to be pointed at who?
And
her father. So now we in a relationship with all this trauma, which is called a what? A trauma bond.
Trauma bond, yeah. They're both going through something. Yep.
Trauma bond. And so if you heal from your shit and I heal from my shit, where's our bond? Where's it at?
We ain't got it.
Because we trauma bonded. So what is left for us to do good in this relationship? Have some good ass sex, which creates what?
More trauma bond.
And more kids. In broken families in a broken home. That's the deep-rooted issue in our community. It's like the commonality is we can sleep together because sex becomes a self-soothing mechanism. It's no longer a transaction for intimacy. It's no longer a transaction for me expressing my love for you. And it's no longer a transaction for me honoring you as my man or as my husband because I want to submit to you. Now I'm doing it because my trauma needs to be soothed.
Instead of doing it because you just want to do it.
Hello. Because see, as a child, you got a pacifier. So as an adult, what pacifies you? Besides us having a blown out argument so I can get some emotional reaction from you. Because you're not feeding me emotionally. You're too broken to feed me emotionally. So every time you penetrate me, I'm getting a superficial feeding from you that only feeds what? My dysfunction, my trauma, my toxicity. And then when I realize that I'm empty emotionally from you, now you a nothing ass nigga.
How do we get out of that though? Like, I'm trying to go back from the beginning. Like people who like are dating or trying to get to know each other, even if they are going through a little trauma bond or have just a history. How do we get to a point where we're dating more healthy?
One, we have to be open to accepting and identifying our parental issues. Black men got a problem with trigger word, mommy issues.
Okay.
Black women got a problem with what?
Daddy issues. Well, how do we? Let me go back a little bit. How do we even feel safe to even have these conversations? Because I feel like, okay, right now I'm single, so if I'm talking to somebody, like it's certain things I don't really want to tell them at the beginning. Not to say I'm trying to keep it from them, but I'm also trying to get to know you. I'm trying to understand you. I'm trying to see if you understand me so that I can feel comfortable to expressing those things. In the earlier stages, I feel like it's kind of tough to really like talk about those things, and I think that's why we get to a point where we don't really communicate as well, and we start going, like you're saying, to the trauma bonding. But how do we get to a point early in the relationship, or even during the talking or dating stages, that we feel comfortable? We can feel comfortable with even having these conversations.
Yeah, I love
without
that
without looking at being judged. You know what I'm saying?
I love that question. Let me ask you this: What makes you safe?
It's a feeling though. It's more of
what's the feeling
of not being judged, of
Why
knowing that I'm being understood.
Why are you afraid of judgment?
Because I don't really feel like if I'm being judged, you're not really looking at me for me. You're looking at from a surface level. I think I don't really think that you're really like because I think for the most part, guys just really want understanding. So if they feel like they're not really understood, or like a female is not even trying to understand, then it's pointless.
But do you think a woman can really truly understand the essence of a man? Do you think a woman is really going to truly understand majority of what you go through as a man?
I don't.
Okay, boom. So you needing me to understand already puts us in a deficit, because you setting us up for a letdown. Because you need me to understand something that I biologically am not built to understand. So let me ask you this. Since we know understanding is something you may not always get, right? What is something else you can negotiate with me that can give you a safe space?
Time, effort.
Listening.
Listening. I think for the most part, it's just the want to. If I see that you want to be here, you want to be around, then I think that's another way of becoming more comfortable with somebody. Because everybody time valuable. I know if you want to, you will do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it on both sides. Like, so if you don't see those signs, then I feel like that's where you get your point where you're not comfortable.
But isn't any relationship?
Oh, it's gonna all be a risk. But we both gotta be willing to take it though. It can't be one sided though.
But you said both have to be willing.
Yeah.
But really, you only have two powers: power of choice and power of changing yourself. So you have no power over nobody else.
Right.
So that means you have to come with the commitment of, I'm committing to myself as a man first to take a risk when I choose somebody.
Right.
Because if I choose you, I trust you. And if I don't trust you, why am I choosing you? That's a you problem. Because if I don't trust who I'm choosing, it's their fault or my fault?
It's my fault.
I need to be able to have enough awareness, right? To be able to say, this isn't safe for me. So I'm going to move around. But if it's safe for me, I'm going to do what? Make investment. And if I'm making investments, then I have to do what I call the superwoman or superman effect. I got to open up my cape. And I have to be like, look, I'm broken right here. I'm hurt right here. I'm vulnerable right here. Like, I'm not good at these things. I am good at these things. I'm going to cut up in this motherfucker sometimes. I'm a abandoned little girl. I'm going to freak out sometimes because I got some issues. And this is how you facilitate me. This is how you do this. But if I'm not willing to make that investment in myself first, because really investment in myself, you're never going to get what I'm not willing to give myself. So commitment starts with me saying that I'm willing to take the risk at this relationship thing, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve it. And even if you and I don't work and you fumble the ball, I'm going to pick up my ball. I'm going to pick up my shoes. I'll leave the sandbox and I'll try again tomorrow. Because I deserve to have the love that I want. Right. And I cannot codependently depend on you to make sure I get it. Because one thing I can depend on is for you, another human. And if I am hoping that you don't, I'm living in what is called a fairy tale ideology. And I'm clothing everybody I come in contact with a fairy tale. And then when they don't meet the expectations of my fairy tale, oh, you ain't good enough for me. You ain't shit.
We not aligned.
We ain't in line. I knew I couldn't trust you.
Right.
I knew I shouldn't have opened up to you. But no, it's like you took your fairy tale and clothed me with it. Did you ever take the time to see if I fit what is healthy for you in this season? You just wanted what you want. Right? Yeah. So when it comes to relationships, we have to be willing to take that risk. Because there's a risk if we do it, and there's a risk if we don't.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let me get some of these questions I got written down for you. Let's go with going back to. Well, let's do this though. Okay, we did talk about the in class when you're doing your when you're in your practice. What got you into public speaking and talking on stage and podcasting and stuff like that?
So when I wrote my book in 2014, Mental Detox, which Mental Detox, the revised version with the workbook is now available for pre-order on every platform possible. It drops November 18th, so go pre-order Mental Detox book, and the audiobook is available. So y'all go get that. But when I first wrote that book in 2014, I just wrote a book, and I literally had no intention of like it becoming the bestseller. I didn't know what it was going to do. I was like, I think in my master's program and just came over and write a book. So I wrote a book. And the book did so well, Nigel, that NBC Universal picked it up. I mean, I'm talking about like the corporate level, Guest Marciano, like folks picked it up and it went freaking like wildfire.
Crazy.
It went crazy. And so they started to ask me would I speak and teach the principles that I have in the book. And I'm like, well, sure, why not? Yeah, you're going to pay me, not to do what I love. Yeah. So as I started to do what I love, of course, people heard my voice, people started to see me, and I started to really enjoy not being on stage so much so that the eyes are on me and for the attention. I started to fall in love with the effects of the principles I was providing. Like seeing people's lives become better, seeing people have a better quality of life, seeing people walk up to me and be like, yo, like, the last workshop or seminar that you did changed my life. It saved my son's life, right? Those things for me became something that really became a high for me. And so with that happening, I just started to make sure that I, put myself out there more. And, and I say this with all humility, there hasn't been anything I had to like cast myself for, or like get an agent or put myself out there for.
Just word of mouth.
It's been an oiled wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, an oiled wheel, but that's what happens when you are in alignment with your purpose. See, when you align with God's will, God sends you the assignment. You don't have to work overtime for it. You just don't. And so for me, with me being in his will, I'm the shepherd. He going to send my sheep. And the more that you shepherd, your sheep will know your voice. Even if it's a wolf in sheep clothing. If the wolf is with the sheep, guess what? He going to hear your voice too. And that's just what it is.
Yeah. Was it a big transition for you though? I mean, I know it's a little bit different than what you were normally doing though.
From private practice to speaking, it wasn't because, although it's going from, like I said, intimate one-on-one to being on big stages, I'm giving the same thing, right? It's just I'm giving to one individual that's a little more intimate, or I'm giving to the masses. But I knew, because in my doctorate program, when my professor was like, hey, who's going to go get licensed? I didn't raise my hand. He's like, you're going through 12, 15 years of schooling, Cheyenne, and I get your license. I'm like, no, because I'm going to be doing it on TV. This is before I did MTV and Teen Mom Family Reunion and all the other shows. I'm going to be doing it on TV, and I don't want anything to tie my hands from the approach that I'm going to have to use to one. And two, I said, no, I want to be able to heal people in the masses. Not just, I don't want to be limited to one-on-one. And so, I spoke at them, but that's because God had those plans for me. And here we are, he made sure those things came into fruition. And, as long as you're obedient, you won't sacrifice his will for you. Like the Bible says, better to be obedient than sacrifice. And obedience is just going back to your relationship risk thing, is doing it afraid, doing it broken, doing it confused, right? Doing it knowing that it's a risk, but doing it because, I don't fuck how it gotta go. God said, here, make my crooked life straight. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. At the end of the day, he said, it's all working for me. And at some point, we have to stand on some principle. Mine's happened to be God's principle. And I believe before even my life became, as I say this with all humility, as amazing as it has been, that, God will continue to bless me in ways because I'm very obedient to him. My obedience is to God, not to people. And I do believe that if all of us had that perspective on things, we would live less in dogma. We would worry about no risk, because we would really understand in life that everything is a risk. But if it's all working for me, then why am I not taking all risks? Why am I not betting every time?
Yeah.
Why not? If I know whenever I bet and I lose, God's going to re-up on me, why are you not betting?
Keep doing it, yeah.
Every time you should be betting. Because every time you don't bet, that's still a loss. So it's a lose-lose if you don't bet. At least
you shoot 100% of the shots you don't take.
Come on, man. Yeah. So why are we just stay on the free throw line?
Yeah.
Until you're exhausted, take a break. If not, keep shooting.
Right about that. I think if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong. Your first viral moment was Cam Newton, right?
The big one, yeah. But Nick Cannon went viral.
Nick Cannon too, yeah.
Cam went crazy. Cam was like another type of viral level. Yes, it was crazy.
How well, not even this is transition, but how is that like adjusting to like social media and everything? Everybody coming at you, because now you up there with the Kevin Samuels and the Kendra G's. Like, so how does that?
Kendra G, that's my sis. Shout out to Kendra G. I love you, girl. So
do you consider yourself as like one of those people? Or is that even, I mean, I would say it's a compliment, but
No, it is definitely a compliment. Yeah, totally. They both their works are just, even Kevin Samuels, his work was unique in his own approach, but he had a lot of great points. Did he not?
Yeah,
he just did. He just did, right? His delivery might have not been what everybody wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But again, his message was something that made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see myself definitely at that level of being an expert in celebrityness and things of that sort. I think everything was, the hardest transition for me was coming into this whole, I'm a celebrity, you're famous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I deem myself, again, as just a little girl in the inner city who grew up and just did extremely well for herself because she was determined to put her family on her back and carry them, right? And so transitioning from that to like, oh, okay, there's this fame and celebrityness, and I have to have awareness now of what I'm saying, who I'm saying it to, seriously, right? Who I can trust, who can I not, who is approaching me because they have an interest in some transactionalness or a relationship. Those things come into par.
I know you're getting that a lot.
Yes, both. Yeah, both, right, both. So, but other than that, I mean, it's really been smooth. When I am very vertical in who I am, and I'm very anchored in myself and God, and I've had parents who did well with really curating a very sturdy oakness in me, and with that, you learn like Jesus to sleep through the storm. You don't really waver in well doing, and so things don't really shake me, and people and things can't move my throttle. I have dominion over that, and I possess my throttle, and so. I love the fact that I have a huge platform to be able to give people that help them get to it. That is my purpose.
Yes, ma'am. You definitely are doing that for sure. What are some core principles that you believe in that's essential for maintaining a healthy relationship?
A relationship with yourself or
relationship with a person?
Well, I think maintaining a relationship with yourself is first.
Yeah.
Making sure that you meditate every day for minimum 20 minutes. Making sure that you do have principles you stand on. For me, it's the Bible, it's God. Not projecting my, values on anyone, but have some principles you stand on. And then governing yourself. A man who can't govern himself can't govern anything. And I think make sure that you have emotional intelligence so that you know how to have a perception exchange with the person you're in a relationship with. You're able to understand their perspective, even when you disagree with it. You're able to express and articulate your emotions to them, right? While holding space for theirs. And you're also able to problem solve and bring peace the fastest, most effective way possible. What I've learned in my 18 years of being in this field is people only divorce, Nigel, because one or two things. They either forget how to problem solve or they just don't feel like doing it. Because every problem is just a conversation away from a solution. And once me and you figure we don't want to solve this problem no more, we no longer have a relationship, not even a friendship.
Yeah.
But if we both commit to no matter what comes in this, it ain't your problem, it ain't my problem, no matter who brought it in, it is our problem. So you come with a problem, we put that on the table. And you and I solve that as though I came in it with the problem. And I think when people look at each other as a team, right? Quarterback and I'm going to receive, it's a different perspective than an opponent that says, now you got a problem and now I'm on the defense because I made your problem.
My problem, yeah. See, and I'm going to ask you this thought too. How do we, can you talking about divorce, they stopping and they don't want to do it anymore. Like, how do we get that as far as like boyfriend and girlfriend? Because I feel like a lot of times, like, and I'm not gonna just blame it on Atlanta. I think it's just dating period. Like a lot of people, we're so quick to give up on people. Like I think that right now it's pretty much like a buffet. Like we choose what we want, and then when we don't want it, we put it right back. How do we get out of that?
The only way to a long-term relationship is to never leave. You're never gonna find a perfect person. You're never gonna find a person who won't disappoint you. You're never gonna get somebody who won't do something that you disagree with or that you don't like in a moment. You're never gonna get someone where you go long enough. 5, 10, 15 years plus in a relationship that some seasons, even if that season is a week, months, or a year, that you may not like in that season. Commitment is doing what you said you would do regardless of how you feel. And if I commit to you, then I'm staying and I am praying and I am working and I'm resolving. Even if we got to take breaks in between that, we have to come back to the table and resolve. And so that and the other things, I think people have to really check their fairy tale ideology and say, is this realistic? For any human, including myself, like, could I upkeep those standards? Like, seriously, could I maintain that? Could I sustain that? And if the answer is no, then you have to understand that your partner can't. And giving people the grace to be human. Now, I don't condone infidelity. As the Bible says, there's only 2 things permissible for divorce. That's infidelity and unfaithfulness. So if those 2 things happen, the covenant is broke. So I, too, agree with principle that there is no more covenant. So you can exit the relationship, the marriage. But if those two things have not been exhibited,
To be able to fight through it.
you committed to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only married one time. Now, I've called off weddings, but I'm only married one time. And so once I'm in it, there ain't shit to talk about, but how we stand in it. That's it. And if we can't figure out how to stay in it, then we already in it. So we just going to go ahead and wait it out. And Bishop Jake said something really powerful that I love. He said, you have to learn to stay until the love returns, to stay until you like them again, to stay until you're back attracted to that person. And too many people, to your point, are like, I'm going to tap out because I'm just not feeling it. And, relationships are all about being happy. Relationships are not about being happy at all. Relationships are about finding yourself. It's about learning how to stick through some shit. It's about growing the fuck up. It's about problem solving. It's about being vulnerable. It's about showing people your wounds. It's about showing somebody inventory of who you are and who you ain't, which only brings you closer to self. We think it brings us closer to the person. It's only bringing you closer. Because water seeks its own level. And a person can only give you what they have and vice versa. And so if you want to be a pint size and continue to be a person who lives in isolation or who lives in a place of fear where you take no risk, if you want to be a gallon, then you got to be able to take gallon-sized steps, gallon-sized decisions, and you have to be able to jump into shit. I was saying earlier to my client, we got to put ourselves in circumstance and in environments that call for us to be bigger and better, right? If I threw you in water you couldn't swim, in order to not drown, that water, that circumstance will call for you to do what? Swim. Even if you couldn't swim this way, you're going to kick or do something. Because that environment is going to call for you to learn to do something else. Come on now.
Yeah.
So we should be choosing partners in circumstances that put pressure on us for us to become a diamond. And if we're already a diamond, to become a bigger one.
That pressure shouldn't be a negative. You shouldn't look at it as a negative.
Should not look at it as a negative.
Yeah.
But that pressure also shouldn't be emasculating for a man, right? Disempowering for a woman, abusive. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the pressure of a man saying, I want this woman, but she is out of my league. That man should go get that woman because that woman is the only thing that can teach him how to be in her league. So why is it that you're not in that environment of the woman? Because she's going to help you muscle up. Even if she is who you cannot attain, she is going to help you attain that. And you can always tell who a man been with by how he treats you and how he shows up with you.
All right about that.
And we got to start to be okay with going after the environment and the people that we want to become a product of. Because you will become a product of whatever environment, that's person two, that you get involved with.
Well, I'm going to ask you, how do you get out of the mindset of being afraid of going after people that's out of your league?
You got to feel the fear. Les Brown says the best, feel the fear and do it anyways. We as a people have to learn to go broken, confused. We have to learn how to go afraid. And we also have to learn that feelings cause problems, emotions don't, right? So emotions are just things that come up. Fear, anger, resentment, happy, sad. Those are emotions. When we identify them, they're safe. Because once I say, you know what, Nigel, I'm mad at you. I'm in my emotion. You can say, well, Doc, what's up, what I do? We can talk about it. That's the emotion. Once I get in my feelings, that means I've already identified I'm pissed off at you. Now I'm in my feelings. It goes from I'm mad at you to you got me fucked up. But now we at war.
Right.
Now we at war.
Yeah.
I'm in my feelings. And if you don't have the emotional intelligence to be high functioning in that space where I'm low functioning, guess what we have? We at war. But if you can facilitate me, possibly you can hold space and I can get back to my high functioning, my emotional intelligence, and then we can problem solve. But feelings cause problems. We have to be able to feel what we feel and do the right thing anyway. That also plays a role in infidelity, in deception, in cheating. Cheating is a character flaw, one, but it's also, I feel like I want to do this. But everything you feel, bruh or sis, should not be reacted on. Where's your commitment? And where's your self-love? Any human being, male or female, who will allow themselves to sleep with multiple people, unprotected, create broken homes, have multiple baby mamas or baby daddies, does not love themselves, period. You cannot possibly love yourself, and you are allowing yourself to be a vessel for multiple people, and you're putting the highest risk on your livelihood, on your well-being, and on your health. There's no possible way at all, period.
To give you a little background on me, I grew up as a single parent. My mom, my dad divorced when I was 5. It kind of crazy when you at the beginning when we was talking about how father and sons I don't necessarily think that I actually thought about that too though, but I don't necessarily think I resented my dad or my mom. I think that I kind of honestly for one kind of grew as I got older. I kind of grew more respect for my dad because I kind of as a child you really not told much. As you continue to get older and you're dating and you're doing all that stuff, I could kind of see where he was coming from. Not to say that my mom was doing anything wrong, but it also, just gave me more clarity and understanding to, why things didn't work out. I think that it does. I'm also thinking with my sister as well. Her reaction is a little bit different from mine. I think it kind of really did bother her more, and I kind of see that through her growing up in the relationship that she's been in. And she's married now. But she just got married a couple weeks ago. Shout out to her. But
shout out, sis. Congratulations.
Yeah, just seeing this, it just got me thinking. Just seeing how we both grew up and how we both reacted to. I know everybody, react differently to divorce and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm happy that you did bring it up.
Yeah,
Gave me something to think about later.
No, yeah, but I want to say really quick. You said you didn't resent your father, but you grew up to have an understanding of obviously why he left or why he didn't stay. But that means that you had an experience of your mother that gave you an understanding of why a man would leave.
It's crazy. I don't. So my mom talks to me like every day. She called me, but it's like,
Mama, we love you. We ain't talking about your mama.
We ain't talking about it. But it's crazy that you say that because it's like when she talk, it's like half of me be like, okay, I see why you know what I'm saying? But then it'd be like, I can't think like that though. I try not to think like that, but as I'm getting older, I'm starting to think like that.
Yeah. But I want you to unpack that at some point with a real professional that can help you unpack that, because that same I see why is going to carry over, which it already has, in relationships with women, where you are going to be able to see why in most women you just don't want to be with her. It's going to be easy for you to first see the why.
You think that's a escape mechanism?
I think it's learned behavior. I think you've learned to see the why a man wouldn't stay with you first, then the qualities of why a man would stay with you. Because you learned that as a young man. You learned that now I understand why he didn't stay. And the more that I talk to although you love her to pieces, I can tell, you can still see why to this day. But if you don't unpack that part, then you will always be looking for the why somebody wouldn't stay first, which is going to enable you to sabotage the relationship.
Like we talked about earlier, having a quick trigger. I don't want that no more. I'm done. Go to the next one.
Come on.
It's always going to be another one.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, all of that, yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
And that's what I know you're doing that.
Yeah.
You are.
I'm trying to get out of that though. Like,
but your fear, like you're afraid. You're afraid. Yeah, he's sabotaging.
But see, that's different when you say it like that though. Can't keep a girl and not having a girl is two different things.
No. You are afraid of keeping a woman. Period. Because you're afraid you won't be able to sustain her. You've never learned what it is for a man to sustain a woman. Your father wasn't there. Nobody was in the household. And you don't want to fail. You don't want that same impact that you had as a child on you and your sister. You were similar to me. You didn't know where you was running. You just knew where the hell you was getting away from.
Right. You're right about that.
And so now that you ran away from it, you in that crossroad of like, all right, I done ran away from it. And now I know it's time to create something. But I'm afraid I'm going to fail at creating it. And then I end up back.
In the same position.
Come on now, from what I ran from. We're not trying to create the same thing. So we sabotage until at some point we're like,
you gotta do it.
Got a job.
That's crazy you said that. That really give me a lot to think about later, man. I appreciate that. What are some of the biggest challenges modern couples face today, and how can they overcome them?
I think the inability to stick it through. To what you said, how they can overcome it is, don't choose someone that you don't trust and you can't be committed to. And the other thing is come in with a sense of self. Draw a square, put on there what you need to be safe and what you need to be loved and healthy. Communicate that. See if y'all can curate that, and give folks time if they have the willingness, right, to curate it for you. Because things take time. Things take time. Again, I love Bishop Jakes. He said it. He said some marriages take 15, 20 years to cleave. And y'all want to tap out in year number 1. You know how long it takes to cleave with somebody?
Lost my train of thought. Handling conflict. What's your best advice for handling conflict when it comes to not even just people that's in relationships, but even like during the talking stages? I think that's like the biggest time to kind of figure that out.
Yeah. So I think folks need to know that conflict is going to come early. Because you guys are both you have the least amount of knowledge of each other. Like the Bible says, love your partner by knowledge of it. Well, you only gain knowledge through experience, through conversation. And so once people get the first negative experience, right, they're out of there. Nobody wants a bad experience. People are codependent on relationships to bring them joy. That is not what a relationship brings you only. At all. Ask anyone married for 10, 15, 20, 30. My grandparents, they married for 60 years. My grandmother will still go off on him. Just a couple years ago, in front of all the grandkids, she got mad and threw her whole coffee at him at 12 a.m. at night. And these people are like 75 years old.
Right.
Still married, though. Ain't nobody leaving. And I'm not condoning abuse or throwing anything. What I'm saying is he wasn't leaving her for throwing no coffee. And if you think that's the worst it got in that house in 60-something years, you crazy as hell.
Crazy, yeah.
Crazy as hell. And she don't even curse. So what I'm saying is we got to start choosing people we really want to be with. Not people who codependently become a feeding station for our bullshit. Because what happens is we stay as long as you're feeding the condition that I have. And when that condition wavers or leaves, I no longer need you. So now I go from relationship to relationship, just setting up the same feeding station, just a new vessel. People have been in the same relationship, Nigel, their whole life, just with a new freaking person. Because all they're doing is choosing the same feeding station, just with a different vessel. And it's like you could have stayed with the first one and got fed there. Yeah. If you was going to go from McDonald's to McDonald's to McDonald's, why you didn't just stay at the first McDonald's and order another Big Mac? That's the toxicity, that dysfunctional cycle of people thinking that they are running away from themselves. You can't run from you because everywhere you are, there you go. So when you run from a relationship because it stops feeding you or it got too difficult or you were too uncomfortable to sit in the emotion that comes in it, you're running from yourself because you're experiencing yourself in that relationship. And all you're going to do is experience yourself in the next relationship until you look at yourself and say, what is it that I need to do so that I have a better experience? Now so that I depend on you to make sure I'm good on your podcast. I don't need you to make sure I'm good. I am okay when I walked in. I'm going to be okay when I leave. Period. There's no weight on you or burden on you to do anything for me. Not even respect me. Because if you disrespect me, my boundary is with me, not you. I'm leaving. Ain't nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a non-negotiable. People will put boundaries on other people, which is codependency. I need you to do this, and I need you to do that. Well, if he doesn't do that, then how does it affect you? That's codependency. Boundaries are for me. If Nigel cheats, deal breaker. And he knows it. I've already told you it's a deal breaker. I'm out of here. If Nigel puts his hands on me, deal breaker. I'm out of here. I don't need to tell you what not to do. What's my boundary? What's my self-love muscle when you react or respond out of honoring me and out of what are in alignment with my values and my standards? What do I do? And if you don't do it, do I have the capacity and the bandwidth to stick with you and to love you through me disliking you sometimes, because that is what maturity and commitment looks like. Marriage is for mature. It's not for the folks who don't want to. Because it doesn't have to be detrimental, but it's still some level of work. No matter how you look at it, it's some level of work.
Yeah. I remember we said, going back a little bit, you said that me too when you were saying running. When did you get to a point where you felt like you was running, and what was your steps as far as to get back on track?
Running, you mean just like in relationships?
Yeah. Well, we was talking about running, like being scared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So my running wasn't a fear factor. It was, I don't like this environment. I don't want to be any of this, and I want to create something different as soon, as fast as I can. And so I was running away from an environment that just wasn't healthy for who I wanted to be. And I knew it because I didn't want to become the people who were around me. My optics were not what I wanted to become. When I did get into relationships, my issue wasn't so much running. My issue was controlling so that I had a sense, false sense, by the way, of safety. Because my environment wasn't always safe for me growing up. So if I could control you like I couldn't control my environment, guess what? Then I can trust you and I'm safe. When in reality, I can't control you. I can only control who?
Myself.
So I have to do what? I have to do a better job at choosing. So now I have to get to know you well enough to see if you're someone I want to choose to trust, because trusting someone is also a choice.
Choice, yep.
Versus being with you, knowing I don't trust you, which then feeds my dysfunction of controlling. Because we only control what we what? Don't trust.
We don't trust, yep.
What I got to control, I don't control my mother. I trust her. I don't want to control my brother. I trust him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hold on, I got a couple more for you. We ain't gonna be too much longer. Where did I stop at? You know what? I remember when you were saying going back to the viral moments. How did the well, you said it was different. The Cam Newton was viral. I mean, I know a lot of people. Two more things. I'm gonna talk about this Cam Newton. Then I got a clip I want you to watch as well. That's a different situation, for somebody of that caliber, had that many kids. I know you said this.
He just had his 9th baby.
His 9th,
Casanova.
Yeah. He's definitely not the only one. Him and Nick Cannon. How do you navigate? Because those guys are trying to talk to you as well. If that makes sense.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about try to talk to you. Not him, and I'm talking about guys with multiple kids.
Oh yeah. Not them, but men with multiple kids will try to approach me.
Yeah. How do you even navigate that?
Men with kids?
Yeah.
Well, I don't date men with kids.
Okay, this is a standard.
At all.
You said that first date?
Well, no, I say before we get phone numbers. I said you have kids.
Okay, yeah.
I don't date men with kids at all. My ex-fiance had 2 beautiful adult girls, and I had no baby mama issue. Actually, if I went off of how he handled it, I would date men with kids. He was so perfect, literally, when it came to how he facilitated me, the girls, and their mothers. But being in that relationship also let me know that it has nothing to do with the dynamic. It has nothing to do with what the man does well or not. I am not a woman who wants to be with a man with children, even if it's the perfect situation. I want my own family. I deserve it.
Right.
I want my own man. I deserve it.
Right.
And, with the God that I have, I can have it. So why would I not continue to roll the dice on that? The other thing is, which people disagree with me on this too, and guess what? I don't care. In my opinion, that is a polyamorous relationship.
Dating somebody with kids.
Yeah, because I'm with you.
And you also with, I get what you said. Yeah.
Get it. And no matter how we look at it, as a woman, just a good human being and a woman who's maternal and loving and wants to be a mother one day, I am going to, or at least I should, be doing what's in the best interest of what? The child. You too, and her too. So now we are a family working together so that this child has the best quality of life, and home. Why would I be with you if I'm not going to invest that time into our family?
Right.
And when that child has a birthday party, who is going to be present? The family. She's your family, right? I'm your new wife. Am I family or am I not family?
Family.
Okay. So can we tell her don't come? It's her child. And I should want to shake hands with her. I should want to be cordial. Even some co-parenting folks are actually loving, which I think is amazing. If you're going to do it right. I'm not going to do it. So I don't have to do it right because I don't want a polyamorous lifestyle. I like monogamy. I like my one person. And I don't want to raise anyone else's children who grow up. It happens all the time. And they grow up and you raise them, you make all these investments in them. And then, if
relationship don't work, then y'all relationship, man.
Hello.
It's like that. That's what guys be afraid of. And it's crazy that you said that you're a female, so it's different that, when you say it. But most guys, that's their number one reason right there. I can't really discipline your child because it's not my child. Once this relationship over, our relationship over, do I want to be dealing with that? I know a lot of people who, I got a couple uncles who've been in relationships. They're not in a relationship no more, but the child still calling them and they still have that relationship to this day. But I know that can kind of be it's a tug and pull because there's only so much you can do as a man, especially after the relationship over.
Perfect. Yeah. That's it. I caught off the wedding with my ex-fiance. And, his daughter still wanted to have a relationship because we were close. And I did, at the beginning. But at some point I said, look, I don't know if your father moved on with another woman or not because she started to invite me to some of her events. And I wanted to go because I'm proud of her. And I was just proud of where she was going and what she was doing. But at some point I had to say, listen, I'm not going to show up because I don't want to show up and your dad has someone else and it creates any conflict with him. Right? Like I want to make sure that new woman coming in, she has a clean, open starting environment for them to do what they do. And it's not healthy. And so that in itself was very, uncomfortable and kind of heartbreaking for her and I, because now we're severing a relationship because I'm no longer with your father. And it just may not be appropriate for us to move forward and still have a relationship like that if it's going to cause conflict. And I don't like conflict. I'm very respectful. If we're done, I want you to move on and be happy. I'm not doing any drama type of stuff. So it just, for me, from experience, not just from me speaking on it, that is not the relationship of choice for me. I've been with people who don't have kids. The person who I'm currently dating does not have kids. And it is peaceful. It is what I want. It is very one-on-one. It's very intimate, and it is very us. And I want that.
So I think that's the reason why I don't date kids. But going back to what we were just talking about, I think it's triggering. I think it's triggering based off my situation, how I grew up. It made me not want to start something that's not really mine. And it's kind of, I feel like that's selfish to say, especially when you had that conversation with the person that you're dealing with. But I don't really think they'll ever really understand that unless they've been.
And even if I had kids, and a man said respectfully, hey, look, I just don't date women with kids. You're beautiful, but that ain't my thing. I would respect that. I wouldn't want a person who doesn't want me. Because if I was a woman with kids, my perspective would be, well, we come as a package. So you're going to care for both of us.
But I used to feel so bad about that because I don't feel bad about it no more. But it did get to a point where I was just like, maybe I should give it a chance, I don't want to be the person to be like, just turning people down just because you have a child. But when I'm in it though, it's a different feeling. It doesn't feel good.
Keep it 100. Come on. No, talk about that because that is my point is, there's a disconnect when I'm dating a man with kids where I don't fully feel fused with him. I also don't feel like I can fully give myself of him because I don't feel like I'm fully getting him because he has to split his time, and he should, between his babies and his women and babies that are not mine. So if you splitting your time with kids that are mine, that's still a part of who? Me.
Yeah.
So that's very different for you to say, baby, look, I got to take our son to practice, so we can't have date night. We should run that play.
But we can't have date night because you Yeah, you can't find a babysitter. I'm gonna be pissed.
And guess what? I don't have to,
And I don't
if
have
I
to deal
don't
with
want to, make that investment. Because now I am impacted by your past decisions that I was never privy to, involved with. I wasn't at the table to help make the decision over. But now I am impacted by it, no matter how you look at it. But I do want to say shout out to the women and the men who have played this phenomenal role of a stepmom or a stepdaddy, because many of you have been the saving grace for kids, the life-saving factor for these children.
Yeah.
Literally, right? My grandmother raised me, and she could have been like, shit, I ain't trying to raise no baby that ain't mine. And
I
she
say the same
saved
thing. Yep.
my life.
I got some guys that I grew up with, counselors, people that I mentors that didn't have to mentor me. They got their own, kids, but they did it anyway. So I 100% agree with you. Let me go to this clip right quick though.
Wait, hold on. We just ain't doing it.
Yeah, we just ain't doing it. Yeah, we ain't doing it. I understand it, but we
respect it.
Yeah,
we ain't doing
it. Yeah. So this clip is you probably seen it already. It's a guy that was talking about his boundaries and non-negotiables. So it's been going viral, but I had a conversation with a young lady, and she was not messing with it.
Dating non-negotiables as a man with strict boundaries. These are my boundaries. You do what you want to do. These are mine. Say I get your number, you give me your schedule, and I plan a date. If for some reason you're busy on that date and you can't make it, it is up to you to give me the day that you're free or your next availability. I'm not about to keep asking. That's too close to begging. Play with somebody else. Number 2, if you ask me in our first few dates for nail, hair, shoe money, you're clipped. You're looking for a sponsor. You're not looking for a relationship. Why these things aren't already done? I don't care how much money I got. It's mine that I work for. Don't ask me to do some shit that you're not doing for yourself. Number 3, if by the 3rd or 4th date, you don't at least offer to buy a round of drinks or treat me to the next one, you're clipped. You're not a vibe. You're a bill. I would never let you pay, but at least offer. Make me think you want to pay. And if you forget to say thank you after I done planned and paid for this date, you're clipped. It don't cost you nothing to say thank you. Number 4, if I offer to pick you up or send you a car, you have a 5-minute window to get there. You knew about this date a day earlier and hours earlier. You should have been ready. I have pulled off after waiting 7 minutes before. You don't respect my time. I don't respect yours. Number 5, if we cannot do an active date, all right, tennis, hike, workout, it's clipped. You're clipped. I know me, I'm gonna catch the ick real fast. We just ain't gonna work out, literally or figuratively. Number 6, you like to go ghost for 2 and 3 days, or I find that you only respond when I text first, you're a clip. Ain't nobody that busy. It take you 10 seconds to respond to a message. Hey, busy day, I'll check for you later. That works for me, because I don't need to talk to you every day, all day anyway. There is a huge difference from texting, which is mutual, and you just responding. Fuck out of here. Number 7, probably should have been number 1. Poor hygiene. That's gonna be a firm no for me. That breath ain't hitting, if them toes ain't kicking, and if them nails ain't clean, ain't gotta be done, just be clean. Your ass is clipped. You're a woman. It's the least you can do. And then lastly, I'm a little bit more lenient on this one, because I don't expect much. We just started dating. If I see that you just innately lack nurturing qualities, it's clipped.
So this is a man who enjoys having sex with women, but he doesn't like women.
Okay. Explain.
So he gets satisfaction sexually, right? From the act of sex, but he doesn't genuinely like women. That's that mommy issue thing. I've said there's a group of men who just don't like women. I'm not talking about men who are gay and want to be in a relationship with a man. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm saying
they genuinely
they don't like femininity. There's a mommy issue where femininity triggers them. So they don't like anything about a woman when she's a woman and feminine, but they are not, let's say, gay. I mean, they don't want a man.
Yeah.
So they obviously find satisfaction from sex with the woman so that they can get the rocks off.
Right.
There you go. So I don't mind fucking you, but I don't like you. Right? Because that femininity stuff you do is triggering for me. And so anything you do that deems women, I'm turned off. I ain't fucking with it. His whole list was a list of everything women do. The only thing, I mean, there's a couple like the saying thank you. That's just something I agree. Okay. Say thank you, right? I'm not saying women don't say thank you. But the whole, it's my money and I made it. It's like, well, you don't like women because it's not about you paying for nails on the first day. Your perspective on just even the money that you make being yours shows that you don't even have the mindset of wanting to build or honor or be of service. Relationships are service positions. They really are. Even friendships. Say you and I are just best friends. I'm in a service position to you, Nigel. Meaning, like, how can I serve you as my boy? You good today? What you need, man? What can I do to make you feel better, help you out? Same thing with me. It's a service position. This is not like, I'm going to give you these rules and this list of what you can and can't. That's prison. Like, what? I don't like you. So what I'm trying to do is create things for you to do to prove me right. He is creating a list for women to do so women can fail him. So his self-fulfilling prophecy could do what? Be right. We do that. So I want everybody watching to take inventory on what list, what narrative do you carry around so that people can do those things to prove that you're right about whatever narrative you have about yourself or about your issues or about people. Because we will always create circumstance and environments and experiences, Nigel, that make us right. The Bible says, what reports do you want to believe? Whatever report you want to believe is a report you want to be right about. That is going to be the environment and the experiences you create to prove that we all want to be right, straight up. It's not an ego thing. We want to be in alignment with what we believe. So I'm going to create an environment to confirm my belief. People who don't trust people got people in their environment aren't trustworthy. That aren't trustworthy. People who have a victimized mindset are always the victim of something. Think about it. People who are victors, winners win. Winners win. Because whatever I believe, I am going to organically, subconsciously create an environment in relationships to prove my self-fulfilling prophecy. We are always prophesizing over ourselves. And our environment and relationships is what proves that to us. When we prophesize. This is why the Bible says there's life and death in the tongue. Speak to the mountain, it'll move. It's telling you right there that you're prophesizing over yourself. So it goes back to, what do you want to, I tell my clients all the time, what do you want to be right about? Let's create that narrative. Because whatever you stand on is going to be the experience and the environment you create. Mark my word, bad or good. It doesn't fucking matter. I stand on being vertical in who I am. I stand on being the victor. I stand on, I'm going to get what I want, not because I'm arrogant, not because I'm better than anyone else watching, but because I says so and I have dominion, I'm going to possess it. And that's what it is. And it happens every fucking time. And I'm not worried about saying it here for somebody to say, see, it didn't know, because it's going to happen. It happened because it's my belief you have no control over. And as long as I believe it, the world is going to move to create the proof of what I am fulfilling within my prophecy. That's the power we have within ourselves. I can't speak nothing over you don't believe. Period. But the moment that I get you to believe it, you are going to prophesize it for yourself. You're going to fulfill it. So that God is creating an environment for women to come to continuously let him down and continuously fail him, because he has been so hurt and so dismantled and so brokenhearted by some woman. I want to say his mother, that is where he's stuck at. You get me? He's stuck at that belief system, and he's prophesizing that over himself through everything he does. Anything internal is going to externalize. We don't hold nothing in. I don't care if you don't talk, it's going to externalize. Let a child be mutism, and he will have behavior problems if there's abuse going on in the house. You don't have to speak. You can tell. You can tell when kids have been sexually abused. They don't have to tell you if you're paying enough attention. Their behavior is exhibited. Their eye contact. The things they don't say everything.
So in your opinion, what's the difference between, like you said, because I think these are like non-negotiables, not boundaries. In your opinion, what is the difference
Between non-negotiables and boundaries?
Right.
boundaries are things that create a healthy environment in the relationship. It's me telling you that if you do this thing, right?
If you cheated
on me, okay, that is going to cause me to leave the relationship. So if you don't want this relationship to the demise, don't cheat on me because I'm going to leave. If you have a problem and don't communicate with me about it, I am going to, in return, shut down because I'm going to feel disrespected by you. So then you understand, let me talk to Shy so we can have an ongoing flow of relationship. Non-negotiables are things that are saying, I won't even enter into a relationship if this exists. So there's no opportunity for us to create boundaries or to create a foundation. Like me, I'm not entering into a relationship with a man with kids. That is a non-negotiable. But if I'm dating a man and he's doing something that I'm uncomfortable with, then we would talk boundaries and we can possibly get through that and work through that or figure out a meeting ground, a meeting point of what is conducive for both of us so we both can thrive and not just survive in this relationship.
I got you on that one. Last question. How can we get more people to be more comfortable with therapy and talking about it?
I think platforms like yours, right? Amazing podcasts like yours who are going to bring experts on and people who are not experts to talk about mental health, talk about the importance of well-being, talk about things from a vulnerable perspective, to be honest about what they feel, not so much what someone else is doing to them. Folks, Black men and Black women coming together and dissipating the gender wars that we have, really opening up about, like we just did on here, what we both were running from, right? And how you were a product of abandonment because your father left. I was a product of abandonment at the hands of my mother, who now, thank God, is full circle and doing amazing. Shout out to moms. You're doing awesome.
Shout out to mom.
Right? But us having this heart-to-heart conversation privately and publicly like we're doing, that says, you, me too. I was running from something. Wow, you too. And then finding the commonality between our pain and our trauma, right? So that we are healing together, not bonding at the trauma, right? I don't want to bond with your trauma. I want you to share your trauma with me. And I want to exchange mine with yours. And I want us to talk about how we felt in it and what do you need from me to help you feel better as a woman and Black woman? How do I hold space for you? You told me earlier that, as a Black man, you don't feel safe in relationships. You don't feel safe with just opening up, that your boys have become your refuge, your safe haven. Well, I'm a woman and I don't want to be a woman, but as your friend, right? As your colleague, I want to know, how can I hold space for you to feel safe? What does that look like for me? And that is how we start the conversation going. And me upkeeping my commitment once you tell me what you need to doing those things. I'll land on this. I have a good friend of mine's, Steve. What's up, Steve? He's one of my golf partners. He told me one time we were out on a golf trip. He said, what's important to me most, Doc, as my friend, is to tell me you're proud of me. And so whenever I talk to Steve, randomly, sometimes I text him. Guess what I text?
Proud of you. Yep. Just so you get it.
I said it to him one time in person, and it's a grown 6-something married man. You know what I'm saying? It's a grown man's man, golfer, alpha man. And when I just said, Steve, I'm proud of you, he looked and he got teary-eyed, literally almost cried in the car. And my friend next to him who golfs with him, he was like, wow, like, until I heard you tell Steve I'm proud of you, I didn't realize how important it was for me too. So what I'm saying is I keep my commitment to providing him what he needs, not giving him what I want him. And I think we need to do that more as counterpartners, not just as people who are dating. Like, you can still love on me and help me and have my back and be of service to me without dating me, without, being romantic, being respectful to me in my relationship, but just knowing there's things I may need from you as a man. And it's okay to do something as small as, Doc, you good? Need anything? That may be all I need for me to feel supported by you. And if I have daddy issues, which I don't, thank God, what if that was something that healed my daddy issue? One mustard seed at a time. Every time you ask me that was all I needed to get through my healing. You wouldn't know that, but you would be of service to me. And whatever God moves through you, he gives to you, good or bad. So as you are moving the goodness to me, you get to keep it. And that is the reward of being of service to people.
So I done seen you do a couple clips of these. I done seen you do clips on 50-50. I done seen you do clips on transactional relationships. I done seen you do. Reason I brought that up is I'm a provider. Like I like to take care. I like to do things just because I like to, just do all manly things. But how do because a lot of relationships are transactional nowadays. How do we, one, get out of that, and two, as a man, like how do we be okay with it's okay with spending money, but without feeling used?
I mean, I think that that's subjective. I don't think a woman should lead with "I need" and "I want" from a monetary perspective, and I don't think a man should lead with I'm a big baller. I'm gonna spend this money. Yeah, because I feel like what we lead with is what we also get. So a man leading with money can't be upset when a woman just wants to go dig. A woman who's leading with sex can't be mad when a man just wants sex. That's what you're leading with. I think relationships are subjective. When you find a woman who you feel moved to naturally to invest in, financially, emotionally, is when you should move on it. And men shouldn't look at it as a gain or a loss. Either way, it's an investment. And if it didn't work, then at least you got an experience, which is called wisdom, you can take with you to the next relationship or the next season or stage. Life is about experiences. That's the only reason why we're here, is to gather as many experiences as we can. Not for us to be right or wrong. It's about, how can I make every experience I'm involved in the best experience that it can possibly be? And so men need to be able to show up in the space they want to show up in, and not in this space of living in dogma. Example is, I'm a loving, affectionate woman. Very loving, very affectionate, very maternal. I could not be in a dating ship or relationship with a man who wasn't open to that, right? But if I'm on a date with you the first day and I feel moved to rub your face, I put my hand on your leg, right? Or do anything that's affectionate towards you, I'm going to do those things because I'm moved to do them based on my comfort with you that you've created for me. I'm not going to say I'm going to wait 3-4 dates to do this. So it's subjective, but I may be on a date with a man where it's been a whole month we dating. And I don't feel spiritually, organically moved to do any of that. So therefore, I have to make sure I check in with self and say, well, maybe it's time for me to detach from this, right? Move around or figure it out. Because what we have to make sure, Nigel, we're doing is choosing people that create an environment in a safe space for us to be exactly who we really are. So if a man is a spoiler by nature, he needs to choose a woman who brings out that in him and he feels good about doing it with her. Doesn't matter if it's the first date or the 20th date.
Right. Do it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
So on this show, we'd like to shout out a lot of things as far as Atlanta. We do talk about, like we did earlier, entrepreneurship, but we also do like Unspoken Atlanta hotspots. So this is just like, do you have any place in Atlanta that you visit, whether it's a restaurant, wherever, day, night, wherever, that you like to recommend to people to go to?
So this is so funny. Because my co-host of my talk show, True Talks, which is a brother to me, Ryan Cameron. I'm sure you know Ryan. He's the
Radio
voice.
host.
Yeah, voice of Atlanta.
The voice of Atlanta. I hear him at the airport.
NFL.
NBA games, yep.
Atlanta Hawks, and then also the college.
Oh, the
Georgia.
The Tech.
Whatever it is.
The Tech, yeah. Oh, Skyhawks, yeah.
Yeah, the football, college football. He's a voice there. So my point is, Ryan, when I first moved to Atlanta for our show, he took me to Chops. And I love Chops only because Chops was like my first restaurant going to, and it was with Ryan, who's my brother. So if I had to choose something,
it'd be Chops.
It had to say Chops. I know that's probably really, Doc?
Yeah. No, that's the people who ain't been. They gonna check it out now. I'm putting the description at the bottom, so they'll be there.
Yes.
Any recommendations that what you had?
Oh, I get the what is it? The stuffed crab lobster. It's like lobster with stuffed crab. Then they have the lobster mashed potatoes, y'all.
I'm finna tell y'all my spot right now. I'm actually going on
Saturday. You going on a date? Nigel's going on a date.
We're gonna go on a date. I'm going.
You going on a date? I'm going when I leave here on date night.
we both. Oh, you finna go there now?
Don't tell nobody though. This ain't gonna air till after I'm not there though.
Yeah.
Have you been to Umi, the sushi place?
Mm-mm.
That's so good.
I used to go. Used to like raw sushi, but they closed it down though.
Okay.
Raw sushi used to be. It's actually what's the name of that spot? Wicked Wolf now. It's a steak spot. Like they give you like all you can eat steak, but it's like it's $50 per person, and they bring you something that can't. It's kind of like Fogo de Chao.
Oh,
but
right.
but they don't cook it in front of you. It's like you just order as you go, and then it just come with steak and fries.
Well, if you date a woman like me,
Bar black.
I don't eat red meat. Don't you bring me to this?
Yeah, I would definitely ask before, like, what type of spot you want to go to for sure.
Yeah,
but it's a good spot though. I actually went once. I actually went for a meeting there for lunch, and I was like, let me see what dinner hitting on. So I'm going there this weekend. So Bar Black,
open up her door.
Oh yeah, for sure. Flowers, everything.
Flowers.
Oh, I know how to do it.
Pull her chair out.
Yeah.
Tell her she looks absolutely gorgeous. At least 3 or 4 times at night. And then, if you feel moved, the next time she says, I'm going to the nail shop, cash app that money.
Yeah.
And cash app enough for a tip. Cash app enough for a tip. And let me tell you, nails and toes are not $100, fellas. Stop sending us $100. You see this? It's called design. You got to send a good $250 for nails and toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. $250. That'll get you right
don't say I ain't never taught you nothing. Don't say I ain't never taught you nothing.
Oh, BC, you good now?
We good? Okay.
What was I finna say? We can end it right here. So before we get up out of here, I have a gift for you.
Oh, a gift.
Just to tell you thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully we'll be able to link again. Very soon.
Such a gentleman. Thank you. Yes.
So she got
and
some
great
flowers.
Yellow is friendship.
Friendship,
right?
Yeah.
Y'all look it. Don't be nosy.
Come
I got
on
my
now.
flowers and my cards.
Oh yeah, let us know.
So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take these flowers and I'm gonna take them on my date night tonight, and I'm gonna give them to my date and make it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm in the game. See, you already have my back. Look at that.
You already know. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all follow Miss Bryant on all social media platforms. Make sure on YouTube. She will be. I think I got a couple more shows left, right?
Oh yeah, we're on. We have about 20 plus more cities all the way up into March. Tonight's conversation. Then I have my own. Go to my Instagram _Dr. Bryant. You'll see all of my Dr. Bryant tour dates. There's probably about 25 or 30 more dates left.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and the dates are just adding on.
All right. Yeah. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all please support the Patreon. We appreciate you. We love y'all. Welcome to the best show in Atlanta. I appreciate y'all. Next time. Peace. All right, we good.
Good stuff. That was good. I think we got some clips, man. The polyamorous is
I got
so
a lot of that one. I think I'm
posting. That poly one, people gonna be like, oh, this bullshit. For sure. They're gonna hate the poly.
That one. I'm gonna post mine too, though. Feel a little vulnerable. It came in, so I know. Thank you so much.
You got it. Appreciate you. Nice meeting you, sweetie. Have a good night.
Sure. Make sure y'all
keep it up, man. Yes.